Hey there, welcome to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. All right, it is Wednesday, October the 1st, as the time I'm recording this video. It's early in the morning here in the windy city of Chicago. I am here on an overnight business trip, about to head down to breakfast before heading into the office to get a little bit of work done before hopping on a plane this afternoon to head back to the ATL. Before I do all that, thought I'd come on here and share with you my top 10 Criterion Collection recommendations for what we expect to be 2 fall 50% off Criterion Collection sales. So if history holds the form, we should see 2 50% off sale events related to the Criterion Collection in the coming weeks. The first being a Criterion.com 50% off 24-hour flash sale later in the month of October. If history holds the form, Criterion typically holds a 24-hour flash sale twice a year, one time in the February-March timeframe, and then the second one in October, about a week or so before what's expected to be the November Barnes & Noble month-long 50% off Criterion sales. So we got those two potential 50% off sale events coming up, 24-hour flash sale on Criterion.com, a November Barnes & Noble sale. So in keeping with that, we've got 10 Criterion recommendations for you to think about. This is an eclectic mix of titles that I'm super excited about that covers multiple genres, multiple areas of cinema, different filmmakers from around the world. And so I think there's something for everybody in this list. So on the other side of this, we're going to get into it. I'm going to share my top 10 titles, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about them. And I also want to hear what titles you recommend. Let's do this. All right, we're talking about my top 10 Criterion Collection recommended titles for the fall 2025 50% off sales. So this is an exciting time of the year. I mean, I've got a nice list of titles on my wish list for the upcoming flash sale and Barnes & Noble sale, and I know many of you do as well. So let's go ahead and jump into my top 10, starting with a title from Bill Friedkin. This is his 1977 film Sorcerer that's out on 4K Ultra HD. This is an absolutely fantastic film. It is a stunning drama of suspense. It's a thriller type film. You have these 4 fugitives led by Roy Scheider who are in South America, and they are on this dangerous mission to drive these trucks across the Amazonian jungle in South America carrying nitroglycerin, explosive nitroglycerin. And it is a suspense, tension-filled tale that is along the same lines of film that came out 2 decades earlier, Henri Georges Clouzot's The Wages of Fear, also available on Criterion 4K. So if you want to make a nice double feature, you may want to pick that one up as well. So that could be a twofer. That's my first recommendation, William Sorcerer's 1977 film Sorcerer. William Friedkin's 1977 film Sorcerer on Criterion 4K. Just an absolutely fantastic film. It is a great restoration. It looks amazing. The landscape, the jungle, terrain just looks fantastic. I mean, the scenes of these 4 fugitives back in, one in Paris, one in New Jersey, from around the world, and them coming together in the South American jungle. The photography looks fantastic. It looks gritty, but looks beautifully realized on this 4K. Absolutely stunning. One of my favorite 4K releases of the year so far, Sorcerer by Bill Friedkin. Recommendation number 2 is a Western, and this is Anthony Mann and James Stewart's first 4 or 5 collaborations, and it's a great one. Winchester 73, out on Criterion 4K. This is a film from 1950, and this is a Western that redefined the genre with psychological depth and grit. The 4K looks amazing. It looks absolutely fantastic, and it is a must-have for anyone who is a fan of the Western genre. If you're a fan of James Stewart, Anthony Mann, this is an absolute no-brainer. Great story, just fantastic performance from James Stewart, and he is going up against a nemesis who they have a past with. You don't know what that past is, but as the story unfolds, you learn a little bit more about it along the way, and it has a very satisfying conclusion. Just an absolutely fantastic Western. If you like Westerns, Winchester 73 is a no-brainer. Now, the next recommendation is for those of you who are noir fans, or if you're interested in diving into noir films, I can highly recommend 1953's The Big Heat from Fritz Lang. This stars Glenn Ford, Gloria Graham, and Lee Marvin in an absolutely stunning noir film. This is a hard-edged noir film that delivers one of the most brutal and uncompromising visions of crime and corruption. And this is a 4K release that really lets the black and white photography sing on this format. Looks absolutely beautiful. The photography, the cinematography shines, and it is a stunning noir tale. Glenn Ford's performance, Gloria Graham's performance, and Lee Marvin, terrific performances all the way around. Great story, and I really enjoyed The Big Heat. Definitely one of my favorite noir films from this past year that I've seen. All right, 3 down, 7 to go. Starting with my fourth entry here, which I'm going to cheat because it's a double feature, but the lead title is I Am Cuba from 1964, and the second title is The Cranes Are Flying. So that's my recommendation number 4. It's basically a Mikhail Kalatozov Soviet filmmaker double feature. Mikhail Kalatozov is a filmmaker I discovered last year with I Am Cuba, which is a fantastic story that takes place during the Cuban Revolution. It is a Russian-Cuban film collaboration, and it is an absolutely fantastic film. It's beautifully shot. Kalatozov was known for his cinematography, and he got some amazing, amazing shots with this film, I Am Cuba, and as well as The Cranes Are Flying. But it's all in the service of telling an amazing story in both cases. In the case of I Am Cuba, you've got 4 vignettes of people in Cuba during the Cuban Revolution, their life and their experiences. And it's told beautifully and shot absolutely beautifully. The cinematography is top notch. This film is in black and white, looks amazing on the 4K format. So I highly recommend I Am Cuba from 1964 on 4K. And also his earlier work, The Cranes Are Flying, on Criterion Blu-ray from 1957, an amazing film. Amazing film. So those would make for a great double feature from Mikhail Kalatozov. Then the 5th selection in my list here is switching gears from the noir cinema, switching gears from foreign cinema, from the Western, from the tense jungle of Sorcerer to a little bit more lighthearted fare in a comedy release that I think is going to be a favorite for a lot of people, and that is from 1979, Arthur Hiller's The In-Laws, starring Peter Falk and Alan Arkin. This is an all-time classic comedy that I highly recommend you check out. You know, sometimes you need a little bit of a comedy pick-me-up. You need a little change up from these other genres, and you want something a little bit more lighthearted, especially this time of the year, the holiday season. You may have family coming in, friends coming in, and you want to pop something in the player. You feel like a lighthearted, easygoing kind of movie that'll give you a few laughs. The In-Laws is right up your alley. It is an absolutely quotable, absurd, hilarious film in every way, and it balances out the heavy drama and tense thrillers that I have on this list. So definitely consider The In-Laws from 1979 from Arthur Hiller. Peter Falk and Alan Arkin, chef's kiss, great odd couple pairing in this film. All right, 5 down, 5 to go, starting with number 6 is starting the last 5, and this is a film from Dee Rees, who gave us Pariah in the collection, which I do not have, but I do have Mudbound from 2017, and this is her sweeping drama about 2 families who send their young men to World War II. There's a white family, a black family in the South. So you have the whole racial climate of the South at that time, but both families send their sons to war, and their sons end up fighting together in the war, supporting one another, and finding brotherhood in that shared conflict. And then they come home back to the reality of the situation in the South and how their relationship and their shared brotherhood that they gained fighting together in war is now coming into conflict with the racial tensions of the American South. Just an absolutely fantastic film, beautifully shot by Dee Rees. This film has a beautiful look to it, the way that, I don't want to call it sepia tone, but it's just a beautifully graded and color graded film. It just looks absolutely rich and lush in its photography. And it's just beautifully shot, looks great, beautifully told story, and the relationship between these families is definitely worth experiencing. I highly recommend Mudbound from 2017, which then brings us to my 7th title in this list, and this is another genre shift. Now, this is going to take us to, more of like your Guatemalan folktale, supernatural horror film. This is a film from 2019 from filmmaker Javier Bustamante, and it is called La Llorona from 2019. It is a Guatemalan folktale or reimagining of a Guatemalan folktale with the similar name La Llorona. But this is an absolutely amazing film. It blends supernatural horror and thriller with political aspects in Guatemala at the time. It's one of the most striking recent world releases in cinema, and I highly recommend it. This is a title that may not be on many of your radars, but it's definitely one you should consider if you want something a little bit different that just brings something different to the table and is not one of those mainstream titles that everybody's hearing about. You want something with a little bit of a different experience, foreign cinema, definitely consider La Llorona. All right, my number 8 title brings us to another different genre. This time, it brings us to the courtroom. If you like a good courtroom drama, the Criterion Collection has a number of titles in that vein. And one of the more recent titles that has come out in recent years is a film from Alice Diop from France called Saint Omer, which is an absolutely fantastic title that I highly recommend. It's a French courtroom drama. It's gripping from beginning to end. It deals with, race, motherhood, justice. You have this mother who is on trial for the potential unaliving of her young baby and the circumstances that led to the death of her child. Just a gripping story, gripping courtroom drama, fantastic performances all the way around. And it is just a thrilling film that I highly, highly recommend. Saint Omer, similar to Anatomy of a Murder, a nice French courtroom drama, but this one directed by Alice Diop masterfully, and I highly recommend it. Brings us down to the last 2. Now we're going to go to animated fare. We're going to go to more of a child type of a film. This is a film that you can sit down with the whole family and engage the children with it. And it is a film that I highly recommend from Pixar. This is a film that the director of this film pushed to get into the collection, and I'm glad that he did. Beautiful digipack package for WALL-E from 2008 on Criterion 4K Ultra HD. This is a family-friendly Pixar masterpiece with Criterion level supplements. This is a title that I highly recommend because the story is amazing, beautifully shot. It's a beautifully animated tale that is highly entertaining. It's a sci-fi love story, but also has something to say about the environment and our responsibility to the environment. And it's just absolutely fantastic. It's a beautiful tale, and it's a rare title in the collection that I think can be engaging for the whole family in terms of including the kids. So definitely recommend WALL-E on 4K from 2008 from Criterion. And the director put a lot of love into the supplements for this release. So we shot some new supplements for Criterion that go into Pixar's filmmaking process, how they conceive of their films, how they get their ideas and turn those ideas into finished products, including what they did with WALL-E. So just phenomenal stuff. Highly recommend WALL-E. 9 down, 1 to go. The last title is a title that I highly recommend that stars Nicole Kidman in a Gothic, horror, house horror ghost story tale, and it is called The Others. This is from Alejandro Amenabar's, filmography. It's a Gothic ghost story, and it's one of the best films of its time. It's from 2001. This is a film that I highly recommend if you have not seen The Others and you like a good ghost story. I highly recommend that you go into it having read nothing at all. Don't read any reviews on it. Don't read anything about it because you don't want to risk any spoilers of this film. It's a phenomenal film that I highly recommend checking out. It takes place during World War II and is a ghost haunting story. And this is just a beautiful looking 4K. It doesn't have HDR, I don't believe, but it looks absolutely stunning on the format. And I highly recommend The Others on Criterion 4K. So there you have it. Those are my 10 titles that I recommend for these upcoming fall 2025 sales for Criterion Collection titles. Sorcerer from 1977, Bill Friedkin's film. Winchester 73 from 1950. The Big Heat from 1953, Fritz Lang. I Am Cuba and The Cranes Are Flying double feature. So cheating a little bit there, but definitely recommend that Mikhail Kalatozov double feature. Number 5, The In-Laws. Number 6, Mudbound from 2017 from Dee Rees. Javier Bustamante's La Llorona from 2019, Saint Omer, a nice French courtroom drama, Wall-E from 2008, Pixar animated masterpiece, and The Others, a classic ghost story from 2001 starring Nicole Kidman. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about these recommendations? And also let me know what titles you would recommend for these fall sales and what titles you're most excited about picking up in these fall sales. Let me know all that goodness in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace. All right, now it's time to wrap this up here and head downstairs, get some breakfast, head to the office, and get on a plane and head back to the ATL. Hope you have a great one. God bless.